I went through a really rough breakup, and I wanted to be in a place evocative of my current mental state at that time. And I remember driving around Milwaukee, and I happened to stumble upon this place on 32nd and Hampton. It looked like just this 5-building complex it just reminded me of bombed out Iraq. I just going in there, seeing all the destruction and rubble, kind of was evocative of where I was at. And over a period of time, what I thought was, somewhat of an entropic experience turned out to be a period of reflection and growth where, you see this abandoned building complex that there's plants growing out of rubble and reclaiming it. And it's a direct correlation to the human condition, and just trying to find those human elements and finding the beauty in that and how that dovetails into design space, because it's like, here are these places that are discarded and forgotten, and going into these places as a wanderer and explorer to just kind of understand what it is, what's happening to it, to then go into a design space and understand that program and understand all the different elements and how it comes together and creates a better quality of life for whether it's the individual or the community. I think what's so fascinating for me is fast forward several years and transitioning from photographing abandoned space to design space made a lot of sense, and just happened to have a next door neighbor who was a real estate agent and started working with him for a little bit, and then quickly realized I wanted to work with the designers and the artisans to really document their work in the most compelling way possible. It's amazing the environments that are around the Midwest. They're so diverse in this small area. 4 hours, you can be in completely different environments where it's like you want to be on the sandy beach, you want to be up on a rocky cliff or the plains, river, lakes. We have it all, and I think like that's kind of a unique aspect of the Midwest, not only thinking about like the historical context where this place is known for its makers, thinking about the Rust Belt of the Midwest, the manufacturing, the fabrication, it permeates throughout a lot of these different buildings. I think the other thing too is the rich history that we have here, Cream City brick in Milwaukee specifically. Like there's no more Cream City brick to be mined, quarried. It's amazing how finite these resources really are, and how we are one of the only species that we are aware of that totally creates our own environments, I am photographing a specific time period in a specific geolocation where these projects are one-offs. They're one of a kind, When I work with designers, there's often conversations about, so you see this stone countertop, and this is the last from that quarry. There'll never be any more from this place. Or, I think each project kind of reminds me of the hero's journey. That progression of, hey, we have this idea, we're going to try and do this. And then, it starts to happen, and then whether it's a renovation and they start knocking walls down and they find out, oh shit, we need to change plan, change course here, and then what comes out of it is just even more beautiful and more interesting because they had to pivot, or they're working with these parameters. And I think that's what's so beautiful is here's this abstract idea, this concept, and then here's the final product, a space that we can inhabit. And I think that is a real beautiful thing, it's inspiring.